Hey everybody, alright, so today I got a new scooter. I've been looking for a new scooter so that I can kind of get out when we go for drives, so I can get out of the car, because this scooter that I currently have is, you can get it in the car, but it's kind of too heavy to really move. There are some issues with it. I'm going to show you guys what the issues are, but we're going to take it out and we're going to give it a go, give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. This is the new scooter. The brand is SuperHandy, I believe. I don't know the model number, but I can put a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out. I paid about $450 open box, so it wasn't brand new, but it really never been used. This here is really the moment of truth. Can my mom get it in the car? Make it look easy. Okay, so the scooter passed the initial test. That's a good sign. But as we're driving out to Mare Island, where we're going to take it on its maiden voyage, I think I'll talk about a few issues that I found and discovered along the way that might not be ideal. The first thing is very easy to overlook. It's the distance between the handlebars and the seat and the upright posture of the handlebars. The scooter that I have at home, which is too kind of big and clunky to get in the car easily, that has the handlebars of that has a curvature to it, which brings the control panel closer to me so I don't have to extend my arms. This new scooter does not have that curvature, and it is, I think I measured it, it's almost a foot from like my seat to the handlebars, and that is quite a stretch, pun intended, especially for somebody who has POTS like me, where you have circulation issues and also just like muscle weakness and pain. So for me to keep my arms extended out like that for any significant amount of time is going to make things very difficult. And to be honest with you, I almost returned the scooter because of it, but I kind of found a modification that makes it manageable. Actually, at one point we were going to buy a handlebar extension and put a separate set of handlebars onto the first set, but instead I just kind of found a way that I can kind of rest my arm and my elbow on my thigh and then just kind of extend my hand up to the control panel, because you have to hold down the lever to keep it in motion, either forward or in reverse, which is also another kind of issue. All scooters are kind of like that though, where you have to like keep your thumb or a finger on it in order to keep it in motion. One other quick issue that I'll mention before we get going on the adventure here is this scooter does not automatically brake. It has a hand brake on the handlebars, so much like a road bike or a mountain bike, you have to squeeze the brake in order to keep it from rolling backwards if you're on a hill. And you'll see shortly here, this came into play a few times because I did not know how steep this trail was going to be until we got on it. And there were a few times where I was thinking maybe we should go back, but I'm glad that we stuck it out and we made it to the top because it was worth it. It really wore me out at the end, but it was definitely worth it. And you'll see why, because there is one hell of a view at the top. So here's the scooter again. I'll just go over a couple more things about it, good and bad. It's very light. I think it's like 13 or 16 pounds or something, which you can probably tell by how easy my mom lifted it into the car. It is very light, but because it is very light, it also rolls very easily. So, and there's no automatic brake, as I said, so you really have to either have, be holding on to something or have your hand on the brake. And for somebody who's like limited strength and energy like me, holding that brake is really tough, and we'll actually see in the latter half of this video on the way back, it actually proves more difficult than going up the hill because I have to hold the brake the entire time, and it's not a very good brake. It's a little treacherous at times. as you can hear from my commentary, this is where it's getting a little steep. And by a little, I mean a lot. It was like so steep. The battery was wearing down and it like was going really slowly. And at one point I was like, I might actually start rolling backwards. That's how slow I'm going. Like it was coming to a stop. But as you can see here, it made it up to this like little plateau. This is not the top of the mountain or hill or whatever you want to call it. This is kind of just like a level to it. And then there's a whole other level that you'll see.
A natural swimming hole there.
There's a couple spots where I thought I was gonna give out.
Oh, really? That steep part. Yeah, it's looking like you're just gonna summit here. We got a round trip.
Supposed to be a ship or something. Whoa, look at that. That's cool. Wow, that's the best view I've seen of this area. There's a truck down there.
I just realized that I didn't really explain where in the world we are. So let me try to give you a glimpse of where we are. I'm going to throw up a couple maps here. We're northeast of San Francisco, so that'll give you an idea on the larger map. But we're in Vallejo. We're on Mare Island, which is part of Vallejo. It's like a kind of a scenic area, and we're at the highest point on Mare Island. And maybe Vallejo, there might be a higher point. And the views you are seeing are mostly of San Pablo Bay. That's Mount Tam across the water there, the kind of big mountain. And San Pablo Bay feeds into San Francisco Bay. This is where I'm getting really exhausted. Got to keep those feet elevated for pots. If you know, you know. Even though I am utterly exhausted, I decided to do a little off-roading here because I wanted to get to the highest point, the very summit of this mountain. and I was so close. I didn't want to go home without getting up there. But as you can see, I'm getting stuck here, and it's a little dicey. There's some points here where it looks like it's really not going to happen, and my battery actually gives out at one point, and I don't really correlate that is why the scooter is not moving anymore. But then we change the battery, and I get a second wind.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's pretty steep right there.
Yeah, it is pretty steep.
Alright, we'll try reverse. Oh, actually, the battery did. Yep. Full juice.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe it's the battery. Gotta make it to the top. Maybe I'll take that. That probably would have been a better. There we go.
You did. Hope those brakes hold up.
So this is the really treacherous part. You can hear the brakes rubbing. The brakes are really crappy on this scooter, which is really unfortunate because you need them because it doesn't have like an automatic stopping mechanism. So you're going to hear the whole way down those brakes are just rubbing, and I'm like riding the brake, and it actually is more exhausting going down because I have to hold the brake. More exhausting than it was going up, if you can believe that. So this is the real adventure. So by the time I get back to the car, I am just so dead and exhausted, really crashing, that I didn't have enough gas in the tank to finish this video. So I'm going to wrap it up right now. But I'm going to end by saying that this little adventure was actually a very big adventure. This was a big deal for me. It was the first time that I had gone somewhere in the car and then been able to get out of the car for any like significant amount of time or any significant distance. Like I had maybe stepped out of the car briefly before, but because I didn't have a scooter that we could bring in the car, I wasn't really able to go anywhere. So this is the first time that it just felt like I could get out of the car and expand my world even more. And as my health has improved and on this kind of illness journey that I've been on, there have been these moments where my world has shrunken very small when I've gotten really sick, and then it has expanded again as my health has improved. And this is one of those moments where it has expanded, and it just makes me so dang happy to be able to do this, to be able to get out in the world and see a view like that. It's just really special.